But I've certainly been having a lot of problems lately with Arena trying to have very, very wide matchmaking parameters instead of trying to match you against stuff that's relatively close, which has been kind of inconvenient. So I got really lucky today with my pulls, feeling pretty good. Bought 2 double Masters packs, 1 Iconic Masters, 1 Eternal Masters, opened a Force of Will, doubling Season, Consecrated Sphinx, and a Mana Crypt. That is, yes, a pretty good day. Congrats. I think either just Force of Will or Mana Crypt would have made me pretty happy with those. Unfortunately, we have 2 mana, and then the rest of our hand is like 6 drops. So this could be a problem. Opponent, I needed you to play a creature so that I could Fading Hope it to try to hit lands. I did not need you to play a hand hate spell currently. As I know they match up players with a similar win rate in rank as you. So they've got a couple of different matchmaking parameters is my understanding. And it differs a little bit between ranked formats and non-ranked formats. Like in Brawl, they will give a prioritization to like a vague approximation of the deck's power level. I don't know exactly how they figure that out, but certain commanders get weighted differently. I would like you to not have this Valky, opponent. But on the ladder, they try to match you pretty closely in rank first, and then your MMR, which is hidden. And then your MMR does a soft reset when you make it into Mythic. Brawl doesn't care about the power level of the deck, it's just the commander. Okay. The deck in the deck list is not a complete. Yeah, so unfortunately, Cardboard Live still doesn't have the new Arena cards updated. So anything that is a modified card, like Faceless Haven, or a new card for Arena only, like Break Expectations, doesn't show up, which is lame. What is MMR? MMR stands for Matchmaking Rating, and it is a type of ranking system that ranks players based on their wins and losses, but with a weight towards if they beat somebody who's higher rated than them using the MMR, then they gain more points. And if they beat somebody who's lower rated than them, they gain fewer points. It's an attempt to try to get a raw number to determine someone's rough level of play, which is hard in a game like Magic where folks switch their deck around. Okay, so the opponent has decided that they want to Emblem Kaya, and I can't really do anything about that unless I find exactly Divide by Zero, which I guess I should do. Opponent has hit the All Treasures mode, which makes me sad, but I guess I should be happy they didn't Baleful Mastery Sorin. Can I beat a Kaya Ultimate? That's going to be tough. I would like to reveal the Break Expectations. I would like to cast the Break Expectations. Might be time to switch to using Untapped. Yeah, maybe I should do that. That is possibly exactly what I should be doing. So Kaya can keep casting Kaya, which might be a problem. Guess I don't want my opponent to have multiple Cosmos Elixirs. What's the goal of this deck? So this deck is a control deck. It aims to basically answer everything the opponent does and then draw more cards than the opponent. So they run out of resources before you, and then you do some stuff that eventually wins the game. No, they milled 2 lands. I needed those. Okay, well, we found the lands anyway. I think we're just gonna make some threats. So my opponent gets a Kaya back every turn, which I guess maybe is a problem for me. Hypothetically? That's probably a problem. Comes back, minuses on Sorin. Oh! From Among Exile, too? Okay, that's a better emblem than I thought, to be fair. They stole my Fading Hope. I needed that for vampires. I guess if they Fading Hope me, I can Fading Hope in response to get the Scry. So I have to deal with a Tybalt every turn is what you're saying, and even exiling it doesn't answer it? I can't really steal it. Yeah, that's admittedly going to be a problem. I don't think I can beat that. Do I have anything in my deck that can beat that? I mean, I can definitely draw a lot of cards. But that might not be good enough. No, my land. Okay, I will reveal Seagate Restoration, sure. Only casually taking 7 damage, it's not a big deal. I can't take their cards with Blood on the Snow, unfortunately. So Kaya can down tick on Sorin. Yeah, kind of annoying. Opponent makes land drops for a while. Not a lot of my removal actually answers Kaya. I guess, was I on the draw this game? I'm trying to think of what I can board into that gives me more answers to Kaya before it can ultimate. Other than just, I guess I have, like, Geistchanneler that stops Kaya from ultimating anyway. I suppose Tybalt also is going to ultimate at some point, and that's a problem. I still can't answer that. I guess. So if they ultimate Tybalt, I could try to just Hall of the Storm Giants beatdown. No, because I gave them a Whirler Maker. Actually, so I can't even do that. They can just make chump blockers, right? I don't know that Blood on the Snow would have done anything. I could have, like, stopped Tybalt from ultimating, but I was still losing in that spot. I mean, there was probably a very long period in that game where I was losing no matter what. I was more trying to figure out what my play was supposed to be than actually winning. Okay, Disdainful Stroke, definitely. Sorin, probably. Go Blank apparently doesn't matter because Kaya hits Exile. Infernal Grasp and Fading Hope seem bad. Blood on the Snow, I guess, is fine. Hullbreaker Horror is good. Go Blank is probably fine. Blood on the Snow, I think we like. Meathook Massacre, I can get away with cutting, I think. Key to the Archives we can probably keep. This sideboarding plan is a little awkward because we're actually keeping in Blood on the Snow, which I don't think we're typically supposed to do. I guess Go Blank is probably the worst of these cards. I mean, it's not terrible. It's still decent. But it is worse than probably everything else. Oh, and yes, to answer the earlier question, Lier is a legendary. The spells can't be countered, but you can still sort of cast counter spells. One of the weird, cute tricks this deck can do is you cast a counter spell with Lier from your graveyard, and then you somehow bounce Lier, and then your counter spell resolves and actually does something because there isn't a Lier in play anymore. But yeah, for the most part, once you have a bunch of mana, or if you just manage to play Lier and then untap without losing the Lier, Lier is a really powerful card advantage engine. It basically redraws you every spell you cast for that game, in an ideal situation. Bulky? Wow. I don't really have creatures in my deck. Ooh, Divide by Zero is really nice to draw here. There's a pretty good chance the opponent's going to try to transform Concealing Curtains, and I get to Divide by Zero after they spend the mana, but before the transform resolves. So they don't get to steal my 4-drop. I'm not sure which 4-drop I want, but they don't get to steal my 4-drop. They're out a ton of tempo, and I get to play whichever one I want. I'm guessing I'm probably going to want Teachings of the Archaic. Which color do you think pairs best with blue for Alchemy control? So I still need to explore... is it a little more? But so far black feels very good against other control decks. Interesting. All of this is very good. Am I willing to get rid of Snow-Covered Island, though? That's the question. So if the opponent has a black source, next turn they go Concealing Curtains, transform it, and get to remove a card. I think I'm willing to get rid of Island. The best curve I can imagine having is Sorin into Teachings, but I guess Sorin into Counterspell is also good. Helix temporarily deals with Kaya, but I think Sorin Downtick might also deal with that decently in the same way for the time being. They get rid of Counterspell, draw me into a land. Okay. Well, here we are. If you don't get to take extra turns, what's the point of playing Magic, though? No, that's a very relevant question. Do I hold up Jwari Disruption for a Kaya? I mean, I've got the 2/3, so I don't think that's what scares me. I think I just want to get my draw 2 off now. Ooh, Discover the Formula is a absolutely stellar draw. So now if Kaya comes down and tries to exile my Key to the Archive, I get to kill it. Igneous Inspiration, I'm totally fine with. Does not make a difference to me. So we take 3 damage and Sorin dies. I can live with that. Mono Green Tea, thanks for the follow. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Halfway through that sentence, I realized I didn't know what the word after enjoying the was supposed to be. For some reason. I just totally forgot what this thing I'm doing is called. Alright, let's start with Discover the Formula, see what the opponent's got. Jwari Disruption isn't doing much yet. Ooh. Alright. Options, options, options. All juicy stuff. I think I just want to break expectations now. It does the most to limit what my opponent can have next turn that's terribly scary. And it turns out none of the things they have are scary. I guess I probably want to get rid of Fateful Absence because I care about my Key to the Archives making mana right now. And then we get to make the Seagate Restoration cost 4 mana, which presumably is going to draw a lot of cards. Come to think of it, do you get exiled? You don't. Cool. So I also get to cast that Seagate Restoration again with Lier. Fun times. 50 feet of rope. What do you do? Target wall can't block this turn. Or, yeah, you can venture if you don't want to get rid of my ability to block with Geistchanneler. Oh no! Tomb of Annihilation, huh? Alright. Legendary 4/4 Black Horror creature token with Death Touch. I'm suitably afraid. Let's go ahead and draw 5 cards and see where that puts us. Okay. Those are cards that do things. So we play Sorin and downtick Sorin and hold up Disdainful Stroke.
Consider yourself fortunate.
And I guess if my opponent wants to like Baleful Mastery the Sorin, fine. Opponent wants to play Kaya. That's definitely getting Disdainful Stroked. I have had the fear of Kaya put into me. I'm not going to let that happen again. So they can cast the cheaper version of Baleful Mastery to remove my 2/3 lifelinker, and then attack me for 3. Maybe they attack Sorin, to deny me another 2/3, but I kind of think they attack me for 3, most likely. Nope, okay, they do attack Sorin. Cool. Life successfully gained. How do we deal with that eye? What do we have in the graveyard? 1 divide by 0 is really it, huh? Alright. Well, that's probably for the best. Although, I could always draw like 10 cards. There could be a lot of cool toys in those 10 cards. I got 6 mana out of 4 after Seagate Restoration. So many cool cards could be in there. Probably not what I'm supposed to do, though. Probably just supposed to hold up Divide by 0 and be willing to take 3 damage from Revealing Eye. Oh wait, no, I don't need to take 3 damage from Revealing Eye. I can actually double block it. Lier has more than 3 toughness. Sweet! Okay, new plan. Don't even worry. Do I have any Discover the Formulas that cost less than 6? No? That's a bummer. Opponent's got leather armor. Very well, opponent. You may have that. Interesting that they chose not to equip Revealing Eye with the leather armor, which would have stopped it from dying to a double block. So what else is the plan then? They have decided not to kill any creatures and instead have dealt a tiny bit of damage to Lier. Okay. What does that mean? Igneous Inspiration with their only red source. I would say that I am willing to divide by 0 that. And yeah, we'll get a Mascot Exhibition. I can cast that twice at some point, theoretically. Opponent's going hard through Tomb of Annihilation. Oh, I see. They thought they could, like... No, wait. Oubliette is just them, not me. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna, like, discard this Jwari Disruption. Would dividing your own thing have been better? I don't think so, because they're so restricted on red mana that I don't think them casting Igneous Inspiration is particularly relevant. This looks like an interesting list of cards that relies almost entirely on Kaya's Emblem. I do think that this is probably a much better deck when it has Kaya's Emblem in play. Yes. I was certainly much worse off in Game 1. That is true. I'm going to discover the formula now. Why not? Make everything cheaper. Oh, okay. We're ready to go to Game 3. Fair enough. Ooh. R8 Rack. Help me remember, which means basically yell at me in chat, when this match is over to take a look at that deck list. Odds are, because I am bad at remembering things, I will forget and try to queue up another game immediately. So actually the rest of chat, help me remember to take a look at that deck list too. Do we change anything here at all? I'm going to go with no. And Alfonso Bellestone. No, Bellstone. Not Bellestone. No second T. Thanks for the follow. Glad you're enjoying the stream. The 2 Hall of the Storm Giants here are pretty awkward, but also Break Expectation seems like a cool Magic card. Step 1. Assume the opponent's going to check for traps us. But I've got Divide by 0 for the Kaya, so I'm not actually as worried about that. Mostly getting rid of Key to the Archives when they're light on mana seems like the correct thing to do. Magistrate Scepter. That technically does something if the opponent gets to put 12 mana in... Oh no, sorry, 15 mana into it. I assume this probably takes Divide by 0. It takes Divide by 0. Okay, well... We are going to continue to give the opponent junk. They did find another land, which is sad. Yeah, the deck list on Cardboard Live is broken. You know what? I gotta set myself a note to change that. Which is gonna kind of take some time, but I'll figure it out. No! Well, I guess I'm actually happier with it. Oh! That was not what I thought they were going to check for traps. Alright. I thought they were going to take the Break Expectations. Then we will take the Kaya. I could have technically waited a turn on that, I think. If they hit a land, I was still taking the Kaya. Didn't Cardboard Live get an update by now? It hasn't prompted me to update it. I guess I can also look into Cardboard Live to see if for some reason it's not updating. Wow, I got punished for not playing around the third check by traps by playing my spell land first. I guess. Dare I play around the 4th check by traps? Yeah, I do. Because if I don't play that Seagate Restoration, my opponent will definitely immediately... Wow, they didn't put counters on Magistrate Scepter? They played Millstone instead? It's not really what I was expecting. Retrieve Socks. Okay. We'll see about that. No luck. He appears to be hiding. So I could divide by 0 here to draw some cards. Playing the Seagate doesn't play around Geistchanneler? Yeah, but if we play Geistchanneler on our 1 Seagate Restoration in hand, we're still only, like, turning it into Divination. Casting Seagate Restoration when you're empty-handed isn't exactly as exciting as 7 mana would lead you to believe. I kind of think I'm just not casting this Divide by 0. Ooh, does that mean I'm not casting this Key to the Archive either? That'd be a bummer. Nah, I'm going to cast this Key to the Archive. I'm probably going to wind up putting the card we fetch with it into the graveyard, but that makes Lier better. Or I could take Demonic Tutor and fetch Lier. That's not good against Baleful Mastery. I could take it and fetch Discover the Formula. Can I cast Discover the Formula? I can. Alright, well, new plan. Divide by 0, you go away. We'll probably find an answer to Magistrate Scepter before the opponent can take 2 turns in a row. Unfortunately, Field of Ruin does eventually answer one of our Hall of the Storm Giants. There they are. Whew. And I guess Baleful Mastery also answers the other one? Perhaps in a way, this situation has become awkward. I would like to find Lier. I guess they also need a way for having the ability to take an extra turn to actually be useful to them, which means like a Planeswalker of some sort. Okay, well, Hullbreaker Horror does answer them taking an extra turn, I guess. Probably. I'm trying to think of a way that I can bounce the Magistrate Scepter with Hullbreaker Horror before they take an extra turn. And I think that means trying to bait them into using this Baleful Mastery on my turn so that they don't waste their mana. and then I get to Disdainful Stroke it, even if they cast 2 mana to cast it. No! Opponent successfully played around the very suspicious play I made. How disappointing. Alright, opponent takes 2 turns in a row. Very well. I still have Disdainful Stroke. No! Fateful Absence. How rude. I can't Disdainful Stroke that. I mean, I do still have Disdainful Stroke, though. Main phasing before the charge? That's true. That's true. That would have been a slightly better, less indicative way to have played it. Kaya. Okay. That's a good draw. Well, I do get to kill the Kaya because they don't have enough mana to protect it from the Hall of the Storm Giants, though. That bit's neat. And I've got a lot of threats to play. Howdy, Mojo. We are up to blue-black control shenaniganry. Ooh, alright. If we play Lier... We got 4 mana? Guess what I'm probably supposed to do is just Lier and then immediately Demonic Tutor, huh? Probably for another Lier. I'm 1 mana short of actually doing anything with Divide by 0, unfortunately, but... So we have Divide to protect it, and I could, like, divide my Lier in response to a removal spell. But... I guess maybe that was... I think it's about the same as Demonic Tutor. Where is it? There it is. Alright. 1 removal spell remaining for the opponent. Ooh. Although I could discover the formula instead of playing Lier, huh? I like that idea. Alright, once again, opponent's setting up to take 2 turns with Magistrate's Scepter. Ooh. Disdainful Stroke is excellent, and my opponent not having a removal spell for Lier is excellent. I like both of these situations. Oh, I wonder if I was supposed to actually hold to break expectations for after I play Hullbreaker Horror to bounce a Magistrate's Scepter, but then they have the removal spell for Hullbreaker Horror, and that's not as fun. They are getting to the point where they get to charge both of these Magistrate's Scepters up at once, which is... Oh, wait. I can trigger Hullbreaker Horror with Hullbreaker Horror, right? Not in time to solve this first Magistrate's Scepter. Oh, wait. I can trigger Hullbreaker Horror with Lier. That's what I can do. The opponent immediately gets to draw a card with the Rosca Relic. Magistrate's Scepter always adds such interesting play patterns to games. Very hard to understand. Alright, Hullbreaker Horror. Yes, they have the Magistrate's Scepters off of our discard spell. That is, in fact, where all 4 of their weird spells have come from. Wait, did I actually draw all 4? I did. Cool. We get to put a counter on the other Magistrate's Scepter. Alright, now we need to dodge a board wipe. I compared against Gold Tier 4 twice in Mythic Ladder today in Best of 3. Yeah, I've heard other people saying that too, that there seems to be something weird going on with the pairing algorithm recently, that it's not, like, actually working super well. I thought it was related to spending too long in the queue, but we got this game against somebody in gold after just like 15 seconds, so I think they messed something up. Concealing Curtains. I don't actually know what they take. I guess you have to take Lier. Like, they can't beat Lier. Yeah, so they take Lier, because they can't beat Lier. That makes sense. That makes sense. They also have to beat 2 Hullbreaker Horrors, which seems hard. So, I guess I'll hold on to this Hullbreaker Horror, because we can use that to bounce something. If they play something that I don't want a Disdainful Stroke for whatever reason. Can also bounce the Revealing Eye as a chump blocker. Okay. So we don't quite have lethal, because they have Field of Ruin and Hive of the Eye Tyrant to block our lands. But we have what I would refer to as pretty close to lethal. Okay. Opponent agrees we have pretty close to lethal.